Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Lockdown Lumber, a brand new show where I spend my time in lockdown seeing what I can build from spare bits of lumber I find lying around the shed, the garden, and the attic. Episode 1 had literally tens of views, and at least half a dozen people requested a second one. So, not wanting to disappoint my immediate family, I've done another one. This week I take the top of an old pub table and the mirror from my old bathroom and try and turn them into a vanity desk. Why a vanity desk? I don't know. I make this up as I go along. So I wouldn't normally destroy such a beautiful piece of wood, but you can see here how split and bowed this tabletop had become over the years. Here I am placing the mirror I had to figure out how much of this I was going to use as the desktop. You can really see how bowed it is there. It seemed like a good idea at the time to use a handsaw on this table. But I pretty rapidly regretted it. But I'd committed to it by then. It was exhausting. Once I'd sawn through that, sanded it obviously, and that was actually the desktop itself complete, very easy. So over to my pile of offcuts and bits of wood. All the lumber I have lying around. This I think was the back piece or door, I think, of a kitchen unit, and this was going to be the backboard for the mirror that would sit on top of the desk. So I cut that to size and obviously sanded that down too. And then I could take these pieces of strip ply that I had and get those measured up. It quite often hurts my brain to work out the maths necessary. You can see me struggling here. And these pieces of strip ply I was going to use to hold the mirror in place on the backboard. So measuring their position here with the actual mirror is always a nerve-wracking moment. I don't like having a hammer so close to a mirror. So let's get that out of there and secure the rest of the strip ply. Idea being that it just slides in nicely, and I'm just checking that it holds nice and secure. Then I cut this other side off of the table, again using the handsaw. Don't ask me why. And once that piece is cut off, I can put that away for later while I measure up the remaining wood to make the mirror frame. And I eventually gave in and pulled out the jigsaw to do the hard work for me. Obviously a circular saw here would have been better, but the jigsaw just about got through it. I then took each piece and used my plastic miter to cut the necessary 45-degree angles to make the frame. which these pieces will lay just on top of the strip ply. And then I needed to attach these pieces to the backboard, so taping them securely in place. I could repeat it on 3 of the sides. Just check that the backboard is going to be freestanding, seems to be good. The idea being with those 3 sides on, then that the mirror can just slide in there and be held in place. And this last piece I'd already attached strip ply to the back of that, and then very carefully attached it, very cautious of the fact that there's a mirror under there. And that was the mirror frame complete to match the desktop. And then it was over to the pile of offcuts and other bits of loose lumber I've got lying around from other builds to find wood for making the legs of the desk. Struggling again with the necessary maths here. I used the plastic mitre again here to make sure I cut these legs at a perfect 90 degrees. Make sure the table stays straight, line these up too, so that all the pieces are exactly the same length. And then these pieces of wood were going to be the top and bottom of the legs. So I'm just using what will be the desktop to transfer the curve of the desktop onto these feet and top of the legs. And then pulled the jigsaw back out to use it for what it's supposed to be used for, i.e. cutting curves and edges. I was very pleased I could make something that uses and incorporates the curve of the semicircle desk. Sand these up, of course, all the different bits, the legs too. And once I'd created all the pieces I was going to use, I could then drop these legs into my workbench, just make sure they're completely level, and then drill through the feet into the legs, and screw the legs into the feet there. Here I'm just measuring to make sure that the top pieces are going to be perfectly aligned, and pre-drill the holes in those so that I can then line them up perfectly with the legs and put corresponding holes into the bottom of those. And with screws already attached, I can line up with those holes and put the last of the legs together. And with the 2 legs complete, I then used the offcuts, what was left, to make some small side shelves for the mirror using much the same technique as I'd used for the feet and legs. These were also good because they would cover up the gap between the backboard and the mirror frame. I also put a little curve in the top of those, you can just see here. And after those were done, I took a piece of strip ply and attached it to the back of the other end of the table I'd previously cut off, so that it would just slide into the top of the mirror, then into the bedroom, and attach the legs to the desk. And with both legs on, I could put the desk in place, position the mirror, and slot in the side shelves and top curve. And here's the finished thing, all complete and pimped up with fairy lights. Technically it's not completely finished. I would like to have wood stained these side pieces, but in keeping with the concept of this show, I have to strictly just use things I have lying around the house, and I'm all out of wood stain. I did, however, do a sample piece using instant coffee. I know it's a thing, it works, but I didn't even have enough of that, so this is all I could muster. But in any case, it gives you an idea of what this will look like, and hopefully when lockdown's over, I'll get that done. And that's it. Thanks for sticking with it to the end. I hope it's helped pass some time for you. It certainly has for me. Until next time, in the unlikely event that there is an episode 3, thanks for watching Lockdown Lumber.